Hey gamers, and welcome to another video from the team here at Gotta Play It All, division of BlenderTech.com. If you enjoy or learn something from the video, consider liking it and consider subscribing to our channel for more tips, tricks, tactics, mods, let's play guides, and indie games in general. Lastly, don't forget our motto, play your way. So now that we have learnt the basic controls and such about Stranded Deep, of which I'm playing the Alpha 0.02 Hotfix 1 edition, I've decided that before we learn to craft, let me show you some tricks and tips for survival. I'm going to show you how to make sure you have an ample supply of fresh water and non-poisonous food, looting, and resource gathering, as well as a few other tips along the way. This will make our crafting and building videos much shorter, and we'll learn the basics here. So anyways, I'm resuming exactly where we left off. We had paddled to the island from the shipwreck that we spawned beside. However, I'm gonna paddle right back to it because before it gets dark, it is currently, I'm not hungry or thirsty, but it is noon. So time is gonna go by. Ooh, there's lots of yucca plants here. This is a great island. Anyways, that shipwreck out there, I'm gonna paddle right back to it to show you why looting is very important. So I'm gonna grab my paddle again, pull myself back into the ocean, and hopefully we don't attract any sharks. It's somewhat of a surface wreck though, so it should be fairly straightforward as long as we're quick. I do see a chest right there, so I'm going to jump right down. Hard case, we're going to click on it to open it. Oh, a compass. It couldn't get any better than that. Before a shark comes, I'm going to jump into my life raft. And I'm going to jump onto the top of the shipwreck, because there's always more than one, or most of the time. I think that there will be another cabinet or something in there. I just don't want to attract any sharks. Yeah, there should be a door here, so... Oh, there's usually a console cabinet, but that one's broken. Oh, here's one. A bucket. This one. Oh, an axe. We couldn't have spawned any luckier. This is amazing. This is probably the best, most lucky shipwreck I've ever spawned on. It sucks that you can't really climb out of the water onto objects very easy. As you can see, I had to push my raft away. Anyway, there might be more stuff down there, so I'm gonna go down here. The compass is so much better. That gives us bearings so we know how to get back to our home island. This is a rare item and so useful. Now, a trick that I give people is I tell them when you go to a new island, the first thing you do when you get there is find 3 sticks and drag them around so that they're pointing in an arrow shape right back to your home island. But if you get lucky and find a compass, that helps. So I still suggest making the arrow. Then I know exactly which direction I have to travel. Anyways, I'm gonna dive down and see if I can find anything else before I attract some shark. I see another chest. The shipwreck's kind of slow me down. A toolbox, interesting. A machete, ooh, that can come in useful. I'll grab that. Because I'm running out of air. Get some air. Go down for one quick look. Oh, there is a door. One more hard case. Do I even have room? No, a flare. And a locker. A torch. Neither one of those are really quite that useful, but you can see the variety of items that a shipwreck can give you. This is a full-size shipwreck, hence why there's so much stuff. Usually a shipwreck only gives you 2 places to get items, 2 or 3 places. Now, these are worthless to me, to be honest, because I don't use things like this for cutting stuff down. I'm going to show you a trick about that in a few minutes, but I am going to jump into my raft before a shark comes, and I'm going to drop my pocket knife. And I'm going to drop my axe, and on the other side I'm going to drop my machete just in case a shark does come. And I'm going to go collect those just for the heck of it, because I have never spawned near such a treasure trove. Oh shoot, that was on the lower level. I'm going to run out of air. Diving is not only dangerous because of sharks, but because you get lost and you run out of air. Some of those fish look scary. Ah, shoot, I gotta go back up for air. Alright, I got the flare. And we'll grab the torch. It's basically just a flashlight with longer batteries. You will find flashlights, but their batteries run out very, very quickly. You can only use them for like maybe one game night top. Anyway, so I'm gonna pick up probably the machete. I haven't seen them very often. And before a shark comes, we are going to paddle back to our main island. Remember to stay in the back of your raft when you're making long treks. Since I am not making a super long trek, I'm not too worried about it since I'm not going to go into a different zone. Okay, oh shoot, that's exactly what I didn't want to happen. Alright, let's get back to land. Don't knock me over. Oh god, I don't want to get hurt. I don't want to get hurt. See, he's giving me karma. He's saying, you got all that treasure, you ain't getting home with it. Alright, let's get back to land before these sharks kill us. Nope, he's gonna flick me. I got lucky there. So that shows you that when you go to get loot and you get more than you can carry, that goes to show you that you're not always safe. The sharks might kick it back out, so you have to be careful. I could probably attack them, but I really don't want to risk it. I don't have a harpoon gun, I don't have a spear, and I just don't like sharks in general, especially great whites. So yeah, this is good stuff, don't get me wrong, but cutting tools in general I don't use. I'm gonna leave all these in my life raft because they are not useful to me at all right now. I'm gonna leave my paddle in there. I'm gonna take the machete because I do need a cutting tool to get started. It's starting to get dark. I'm going to show you how to build a fire. Fire is obviously one of the most essential things for survival. Since my food and water is still decent, I will wait till morning to show you guys how coconuts work. When you first spawn, just go around on your island and find 5 sticks. That's 3. That's 4. There'll be one more somewhere. Every island has at least 5 sticks for a fire, and it's starting to get dark. Now, during the dark, you can use your lighter infinitely, and it lights up pretty good. We do have that torch that we could use. I find it doesn't get too dark during the game. When the designers first made the game, it was actually... Oh, this wreck actually has something in it too, maybe. Yeah, it's got a toolbox. It's got another machete. You'll see if I go to my inventory, I can hold 2 machetes, so that just goes to show you the 4 items in each slot. However, that does me no good when I need one more stick. There's one. Okay, so yeah, the first thing that you're usually gonna think of and want for some reason, even though it'll really do you no good at first, unless you want to just eat crabs, you'll notice there are usually crabs running around everywhere on islands. Let me see if I can find some quickly. Oh, there we go. There's the crabs. So yeah, you can attack a crab and pick it up. However, if you eat it raw like this, if it says a small male crab or a small female crab, you can eat it. However, it will make your health go down. It will poison you since it's raw, so you need to cook it. So we need to build a fire, so let's pick a place to build our fire. I generally like to leave all my stuff near my raft in a nice wide open area so I don't lose them. So I'm going to drop 5 sticks right where I want my campfire. So I'm going to drop 1, and then while it's highlighted orange, I'm going to drop a 2nd, a 3rd. I'm going to grab my other sticks. I'm going to go 4 and 5. Now you'll see my crosshairs turn from a dot to a little menu icon. That means we can craft. If we click, it'll give us a list of what we can craft based on what we've dropped. So since it's the night time and I have a raw crab, I'm gonna build a campfire. So it takes 5 sticks. So I'm gonna click it, and just like in the forest, you can place it. So I'm gonna place it about right here. I'm gonna click, and now I can light it up. Campfires with 5 sticks in them last about 3 hours in game, so it would make it to about 2,500. So yeah, it would make it to about 1 in the morning. 2,500, that doesn't even exist. 1 in the morning. 3 game hours a campfire will last. So you have to continually add sticks to your fires to make them last. But yeah, you just light them with your lighter. Now, don't go chopping down every tree for fuel. Go to other islands to get sticks if you want a fire to cook. Because Palm trees, after you cut them down, by the way, you can climb trees just by going W and S up on them, but if you fall off, you're gonna hurt. Also, if you drop something off a palm tree, you can break it open without having to use something else. But you can see palm trees generate coconuts, so if I cut them down, there should be a third. I don't want to fall. I fell. How badly did I break something? Oh, I fell again. Shoot, I really hurt myself now. It's a good thing I saved before. Yeah, I'm gonna be hurting bad. See how my coconut broke in half? So I can eat those because coconuts are natural food. But the crab needs to be cooked. So I'm gonna... Now, a campfire, you can cook stuff, but you have to balance it ever so carefully. You'll see how you hear the kss and then it jumps right off. It's very, very hard to do. So you either have to do this a ton of times or get it balanced ever so luckily. However, you can build a fire pit followed by a fire spit, which allows you to cook things properly, and the fire spit dings when whatever you're cooking is done cooking. I'm gonna save that for the crafting video. It'll say cooked crab once it's done cooking. Let me try dragging it. Like I said, you can right click and drag items. So if I let go just right, there we go. Okay, yeah, that'll cook it as long as it doesn't fall off. So I'll wait because I do need food and I'm gonna start needing water. So in the daylight, I'm gonna show you how to use coconuts properly. After that, I'm gonna show you why I don't use cutting devices if I live. I don't know about my health. And then a couple other tips. I'll save crafting for the next video. This is just basic survival. Building a fire and we'll get water and food. So right now we've got a fire and we're getting food. Cooked crab. See, it dings when it's done. So I'm gonna grab it before it burns. So we now have a cooked... Come on, sometimes the game bugs out. One small male crab, but now it's a cooked crab. So it's one food serving. So I can now eat it without getting poisoned by clicking with it selected. So as you can see, my food went up one serving. Not a lot. However, the coconut that broke open, you'll see if I hover over it, a piece of coconut, it's one food serving. Now, coconuts don't need to be cooked, so I can just eat these raw. Now, I need 2-3 food servings, so I'm going to eat both of these. So you can see that we've got almost full food. I'm bleeding out, so I'm gonna have to finish this quickly and restart my game. Yeah, so I need one more food and I need 2 waters. So I'm gonna show you why you should not cut down trees. So like I said before, palm trees, don't cut them down for sticks unless you absolutely need to on your home island, because after about 2.5 game days, they'll generate 3 new coconuts. Green coconuts, that is. So if I take a green coconut and a cutting device, and I hit it once, twice, 3 times, depending on the knife, it might take more or less times. About 3 to 5 times, it turns into a coconut. So let me pick up the coconut now. And you'll see it says a dehusked coconut can be broken into pieces. So if I take the dehusked coconut and drop it and then take a cutting device and hit it just once, you'll see it turns into a drinkable coconut. Now if I take that, you'll see a dehusked coconut can replenish thirst or be broken into pieces. So now we can drink this. A coconut can be used for water or food. Now it says food 1 serving, but it's actually gonna fill up your thirst. Same with the water bottle. Notice how it says food 3 servings? That's actually water. The game hasn't differentiated between the 2 yet. So I'm gonna select this coconut. It's turning into daytime, perfect, and I'm dying out anyways. But I'm gonna drink it by clicking. And if I go into my inventory, you'll see we used it. And if I bring up my survival watch, you'll see it filled my thirst up 1 bar. Here's the cool thing. If I drop it 1 more time, bring up a cutting tool once more, and hit it once, twice, usually 3 times, we get coconut halves again, which we just learned we can eat. That 1 coconut basically got all my thirst and hunger back up. However, I am still bleeding out because I fell off the tree like an idiot. I always keep a nice collection of coconuts in my raft because the reason for that is they like to roll. So until I build something to hold them, I just keep them in my life raft. On to the next couple tricks I wanted to show you. Oh yeah, we have this bucket of seawater. If we were careful and put it over the fire, no, it's just gonna spill. You'll see it'll turn into just a bucket. Yeah, you really can't balance a bucket, but once you build a fire spit, what you can do is you can take your bucket, you can drop it, and you can drag it through the water, and it turns into a bucket of seawater. See the water in it now? That's seawater. But if I drink that, of course it's gonna make me thirstier. So yeah, I'm spilling all the water out. They haven't made a good control system yet, so it's very hard. But once you build a fire spit, you can turn buckets of seawater into buckets of fresh water, which can refill your water bottle, which is great when you're going to other islands. That way you don't have to carry, you know, like 8 coconuts. Anyways, the next trick I'm going to show you involves rocks. Rocks are another thing you will find on islands. So let me find a rock. They used to be very rare. They're less rare now. I still suggest getting every single one you can. There's one. So I got a rock. I'm gonna take it back to my little camp area. I'm surprised this fire's lasted this long. Usually it goes out by now. Maybe it's bugged out. Anyways, take a rock and either drop it off of a tree onto something hard like another rock, or just drop it, grab your cutting tool. And by the way, I suggest you do this early if you don't find a machete or something, because the stock pocket knife is very, 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 very weak. Attack the rock until it breaks. Oh yeah, see the campfire goes out. So now my campfire, I would need to add wood to it. I'll take a stick to show you. I click and see how it got slightly bigger. That means that I just added one stick to the fire and now I can relight it. However, it won't last very long since I only added one stick. With the rock, as I was saying, attack it with your favorite cutting tool, and it'll break, and it'll break into rock shards. Now if we go into our inventory, you'll see rock shards. They are craftable item, so they are used for let me try to remember. They're used for the knife, the crude spear, and they're used for actually, they're used for the knife and spear. However, notice it says can be used as a crude cutting device when desperate. In the current version of the game, I don't know if this is intended or if it's just bugged out. I'm gonna actually drop my machetes in here, my little loot bag for now. Take my rock shard, and I'm gonna go find another. Actually, no, these yucca plants. I'm gonna show you 2 tricks in one. I'm gonna grab this rock. I'm gonna grab this rock. So we have a yucca plant here and a yucca plant here. Very lucky. Yucca plants give you lashing, which is used for crafting, which I will get into in the next video. However, this is a good hint. 2 hints, sorry, that I want to get out of the way. So we got the rock shards, remember? This is why I don't use cutting tools. It's because rock shards can be used for cutting indefinitely. So I can cut this yucca plant down with this rock shard. Now they're very weak. They take a long time to cut, but they make up for it in the fact that, notice it doesn't have any health. So like I said, in the current version of the game, and each yucca plant gives you 2 lashings, you can use a rock shard indefinitely. So I always carry at least 1 rock shard around for cutting. I don't use cutting tools because they break and then you're screwed. I make sure that I have a rock shard, a small collection actually, just in case, but I always carry at least 1 or 2. Anyways, cut open this other yucca plant just because it's here. Now yucca plants, just like palm trees, are one of the few natural resources that regenerate. However, sometimes because the game is in an early state, the leaves on the yucca plant won't regrow. Yucca plants take about 2 to 2.5 days to regrow. I've been told 2 days, 6 hours, so 2.25 days. But yeah, so sometimes the model doesn't change back into the fully grown one. However, after a couple days, usually you can hit it again and then you'll get lashings. However, sometimes you won't be able to see these at all because either they're in the forest, or sometimes for some reason the plant just disappears. So what I like to do, notice how it's twitching? There's some issue with the game logic behind the yucca plants. So what I like to do is mark them with something. Now my preferred way of marking them is with palm leaves, the little leaves you see there on palm trees. However, I usually collect those from another island, but for now I will just use a rock. So I'm going to drop a rock right near it, not right on it because sometimes that'll prevent it from growing, but right near it. So then I know that even if that yucca plant disappears, I know that there is one there, and if I go slashing around, I will get more lashing. Same with this one. There's this nice collection of natural rocks right here. So I'm going to place one right here, kind of pointing towards it. Maybe I'll drag it over a bit, right click and drag. So I know that there is another yucca plant right there. That way if the game bugs out and they don't regrow properly, I can still come around with my rock shard, hacking and slashing, and I'll get more lashing. So yeah, they grow infinitely. I'm not going to get into crafting. However, I'm going to show one more thing that I mentioned in the beginning before I leave off. I'm going to find 3 more sticks. You can see sometimes things are hidden in the jungle because it's all randomly generated, right? And sometimes you'll find 10 sticks laying right next to each other. There's another yucca plant, so I would probably So I would mark this with another rock. Anyways, I'm looking for 3 sticks. Perfect. Okay, so as I told you before, it is extremely hard to find your home island because that island and that island look exactly the same. That island looks exactly the same. Is there any more that we can see? That island looks the same. That island looks the same. That island looks the same. And that island over there looks the same. Or was it that island? That's because at this distance, the game doesn't have the horsepower to render what the island actually looks like. You have to go into the next tile, the next zone, to be able to see what it actually looks like. So even if you built a giant house on your home island, you still wouldn't be able to see it from a distance. So what I do is, let's say my life raft is right here, and I'm gonna go up to that island. I would paddle straight to that island, and as soon as I got there, assuming I didn't have a compass, and even if I have a compass, I like to do this because compasses are very rare, and just because I find it's a visual aid that's a lot easier. When I get to that island, I quickly pick up 3 sticks, or better yet, I bring 3 sticks with me, and so the second I get there, I look right back to my home island. So let's pretend I just arrived on a new island, and I know that that's my home island back there. I would drop 3 sticks in an arrow shape. And that's a pretty terrible arrow, so I'm just going to drag this one back. So there, it points roughly towards our home island. That is the most basic, but one of the most efficient ways of finding your way back. And now, when you go onto another island, let's say I go onto that island over there, I would do the same thing. I would make an arrow that points right back to my home island. That way, no matter what island I explore, and I can go back to it too, I can always come back to my home island. So yeah, that's my last 2 tips. Marking yucca plants because the game is bugged out. Don't chop down palm trees unless you absolutely have to, because they grow coconuts constantly after about 2 days. Use rock shards from a broken rock as a cutting device since it does not break. Pro tip, don't fall off trees. Where'd they go? Keep a collection of coconuts at all times, and when you're not using your life raft, keep them in your life raft. It's a very good holding method until you build structures. Don't eat raw crabs. Use markers for natural plants because they glitch out and don't grow back properly. But yeah, so that's my tips for survival. Use coconuts for an infinite source of food and water. And also, if you are using a cutting device and not cheating with rock shards, or if they do change that in a later release, you can always break stuff by climbing up the tallest tree you can find, selecting that item, and dropping it. But yeah, that's my collection of tips and tricks and a quick little gameplay video for survival in Let's Play, or not in Let's Play. A quick little Let's Play for tips and tricks for survival in Stranded Deep. So, oh yeah, I guess I might as well show you, since we're here talking about survival, potato plants. That is the one other plant in the game currently. So, when you harvest it, sometimes it'll either give you 3 potatoes, or it'll give you 1 potato and a potato mound. And a potato mound will regrow potatoes. In that case, I like to mark it with something like a rock. Let's say a potato mound came there instead of 3 potatoes. However, this time we just got 3 potatoes. Now you can eat them raw, but I still suggest cooking them once you build a fire pit and a fire spit. But we will get into that in the crafting video. I'm gonna reload this game since I broke my leg or something and I'm bleeding out. So that is all my tips and tricks I have for survival. So I hope this helped you guys figure the game out a little bit and get some tricks that will help you along your way. So thanks again for watching from the team here at Gotta Play It All, division of BlenderTech.com. If you enjoyed this video, consider liking it and consider subscribing for regular updates. We'll soon be on Twitter and Facebook. If you disliked this video for any reason, instead of leaving with a thumbs down, please leave a comment or email info@blendertech.com as to what we can improve on so that we can continually improve our videos based on your community input. Remember, play your way.